Hi, guys. Welcome to episode 13 of Get Up 10 podcast. I know what you're thinking. It's been a while, and yeah, it has. um, what do I even say? Let's see. Okay, so obviously life has been happening. Life doesn't stop. But I didn't want you guys to think that I gave up on this podcast or that I gave up on making moves because I really didn't. I was definitely going through life, but I didn't want you guys to think that just because you're going through life means it's okay to take a break from your goals and the things that are working for you. Because if anything, when you're going through life, those are the exact things that you need to keep on doing. So we're back, episode 13. This is actually the fourth episode for 2019. But I still haven't uploaded the other three. But you know what? I'm tired of making excuses, so those are getting uploaded this week. And y'all can hold me to that because I welcome the accountability. So you guys know how I like to do things. So first up, I gotta tell you what's been going on in my life. And I have my notes. So you know it's gonna be good. No, I'm playing. I do have my notes, but this is also gonna be like a very open discussion and everything. So yeah, because I wanted to really make like notes and things to give you guys some great points. But you know how I love my quotes, so my notes turned out to be a bunch of quotes. But we don't talk about this thing. Good company. Like, what is that about? I know you guys are wondering if you're watching on Facebook Live. So, what's been going on in my life? A few things. I finally got my car. I know if you guys have been following me for a little bit, I didn't have a car for like months and it was driving me crazy. But I learned a lot of things in the time that I didn't have my car. And I think one of them was just making the best out of working with what you got and making the best of that and taking the cards that you've been dealt and learning how to win with them. So that's what I did when I was stranded. So yeah, I got my baby, I got another Jeep, and I've always wanted a white car, and I've always wanted like the panoramic sunroof. Guys, I got a question. What's the difference between a sunroof and a moonroof? Because I don't know, but I've seen both terms. I don't know. So I just started saying a panoramic sunroof. So yeah, I got my baby, and it's what I prayed for. It's what I wanted. So I was happy to do that. For real, that was a big girl move. That is the first car that I am paying for myself. So now I'm just determined to pay it off. What else? Last weekend, I think it was, I was in Virginia visiting my other mother, Shelly Shelton, who I still have an awesome interview that I did a few weeks ago that I have to release to you guys because I know that somebody needs to hear her story because she is one powerful woman. So last weekend, I think it was, it was 2 weekends ago, guys. When you work the night shift, your brain just doesn't work when it comes to dates and times. So I was in Virginia 2 weekends ago with Shelly celebrating her birthday, which it was just a much needed little getaway. And I was so happy to be able to keep her company. And we had some girl time. And guys, well, not guys, ladies. I mean, guys too, but ladies, that girl time is important. Get you some girlfriends, okay? So that was fun. That was my first trip for 2019. If you have been following me on social media, you know I did a lot of traveling to end 2018, which was something I always said I wanted to do when I finished college. Like even in college, I was like, I just want to travel. I just want to travel. I just want to travel. But I didn't have the time or the resources to be doing so. So as soon as I graduated, I was about that life. Catching flights, not feelings, okay? No. But no, I did do a lot of traveling to end last year, and I loved it. And that was part of what kept me a little bit sane as I was going through life. So here we are, new year, 2019. And yeah, I'm still saying that even though it's February now. Whatever. Fight me, okay? Whatever. So here we are, 2019, and I have a bunch more trips lined up. So that was the first one for 2019, and it was such a fun way to kick off the year. And I can't wait for all that is to come. Taking my first international trip this year, so I'm kind of excited about that. And I think that's something that I need to jump out of my comfort zone and book another one. So I'm thinking London, but I don't know. We'll see what God has for me. What else? Okay, so as I said, I've been working. That's definitely been going on. And I love the night shift. My patients, I always laugh at the patients that are like, oh my gosh, did I keep you up? And I'm like, ma'am, it's my job to be up all night. Like, why are you apologizing? I don't get to sleep like you. But it's cool because I've always been a night owl. And the nurse life is stressful. And rewarding and funny, and it's just a lot. And I don't think there's really a way to prepare yourself before work for, you just never know what's going to happen, like what you're going to get. But I will say the transition from being a new nurse into becoming more experienced is going pretty well. And I don't know, I just felt like ever since I started my nursing career that I've experienced tremendous growth as a person as well, because nursing will stretch you. Let me tell you, some of these people you got to deal with, like, you got to be good with yourself first, because people will have you all the way messed up and have no apologies for it. So you really have to be like confident within yourself to be a nurse, and I've definitely been being stretched in that way. So what else? Oh, going back to the car thing, I'm looking at my notes now. My car is honestly, like I said, it answered a prayer. It is something that I talked about, I dreamed about, I wrote about. And that's something else that like has been on my mind lately, is just the power of making a list and checking it off and writing things out. Like in my room, right across from my bed, like can't even miss it if I'm laying in bed, is my vision boards and a checklist of things that I want to put money towards. And I've had so many different, like I kind of have two sides on my whiteboard. So one side is like more business oriented of like things I want to accomplish when it comes to building my brand. And then the other side is just like any major purchases that I wanted to do. So I had like some trips on there. Like this year I'll be at Women Evolve conference and Pinky Promise conference. So I had to get my tickets for those. So like I put those on there. I put buying my car on there. I put getting an Apple Watch on there. I put, what else? I don't know, buying a new pair of sneakers on there. Just whatever came to my heart in the moment that I've been thinking about spending on for a while. I've made a list of that stuff, and it's been very rewarding to just check things off. So guys, if you're not writing out your goals, I want to encourage you to do that. And also, one of my favorite Bible verses talks about writing the vision and making it plain, and in due time, basically, it'll come to pass. And when I was listening to something, and it was like, when it comes to your vision and your goals and the things that you want, God doesn't ask you to do anything but write it out. And I mean, I don't want to be too simplistic, like write it out and put in the work, but write it out. And there is really a power in writing things down and getting so specific to the details, the dates, the colors, who's with you, who's not, every little detail. Like, I don't know. I just want to encourage you guys to write things out. Get you a journal, okay? I'm about to start my own line of journals one day, but get you a journal, write things out, and tell me your life don't change. Like, there is nothing like looking back in your journal at your growth, at what God has done, at the things that you have accomplished, the things that you once prayed for. There's nothing like looking back on those things. So I just wanted to encourage you guys really quick to write things out. What else? I'm still updating you guys on my life because I left y'all for a whole month. But anyways, I've been working out, if you haven't noticed. And I'm laughing because I post, like, when I go, I post every day. I try to give you guys a break from all my selfies, and I'll post like the weights or something. But for the most part, when I go to the gym, you guys get a picture, and that just makes me feel good. I don't know, working out just makes me feel good. That's like really one of my happy places. I don't know, when I stop, I'm like, girl, what was you doing? Like, why did you, who told you to stop working out? Like, that's really how I feel. But got back in the gym. It's been going great. I joined Orange Theory thanks to Sarah Jakes Roberts. If you listen to her podcast, if you're part of the delegation, shouts out to you. So yeah, we tried out Orange Theory, fell in love with it, and here we are. Membership and all that later. They didn't tell me when I signed up I was going to have to pay for the heart rate monitor, but whatever. I joined Orange Theory and I absolutely love it. I leave there feeling like I can take on the world. Like, it is intense. But yeah, and people always like DM me and whatnot and talk about like, what do you do? How do you do this? Like, I'm trying to be like you. So I'm gonna tell y'all, this is what I do. Okay, I take classes. That's it. Classes. I love my group fitness. I'm a people person. I'm competitive. I need somebody cheering for me. I cheer for myself too, that's part of working out, but I need somebody like to acknowledge that I'm putting in work. And not only that, I need somebody to say, you better get your butt off the ground. Let's go. Like, I need that. So group fitness is for me. Like, if you go to the gym, period, that's great. But for me personally, like, if I just go to the gym and I don't have, no, let me put it like this. If I just go to the gym to work out by myself, it's not the same. Like, okay, I got my little workout plans that I stole from social media and Pinterest. Side, those are tips right there, guys. If you need free workouts, go look online. There's so many. But for me to just show up at the gym with a plan is just like, oh, man, can I be done on this treadmill already? You know what? I'm tired. I'm not going to do all these reps. Like, it's hard for me to push. It is what it is. I know myself. So I do group fitness. I do all kinds of classes. I love variety. So I try to switch it up like every single day in terms of what I do. It's another reason I like Orange Theories, because the workouts are different every day. So yeah, I work out. My goal is to work out 6 days a week. Sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less. I don't think I've dropped below 5 days a week recently. But yeah, so I go to classes and I make my best attempts to drink water. I'm not that girl walking around with a gallon. We're not there yet. There's levels to this. I'm not there yet. But yeah, drinking water makes a really big difference. So I take my classes, I drink my water, and yeah, I make it work with my schedule. That's part of the reason I wanted to work nights as well, because I met this night nurse at the gym 2 years ago who she works nights, and then the very next morning when she gets off, she's in the gym for 2 hours. So being with somebody like that I knew that, okay, like you could do that too. There's no excuses. And that is the perfect comment, because that's kind of what I'm going to talk about today when I get into my main topic. But yeah, when I saw her doing her thing, and she is like in her mid-50s, I don't know, but she's doing a thing and her body is great. So when I saw her working out like that, I was like, okay, when I start working as a nurse, that's going to be something that I do as well. And it has been. So if I'm working overnight, I usually will go to the gym right after I get off. And then if I'm not working, then it just depends on if I want to sleep a little bit more or not. I'll go to the gym in the morning or the night. It really doesn't matter as long as I'm getting it in. So that is what I do, for everybody asking me. And thank you for the compliments and all the love on my workout pictures. I appreciate it. And the whole point is, if I'm doing it, you guys can do it too. So if you need a workout buddy, just come to class with me. Okay, and lastly, well, 2 last things about what's been going on with me. One of them is I took another break from Instagram, but I kind of pulled out the big guns this time and like deactivated my account. And I've talked about this on the podcast before. Like, I go through my moments where I'll be on Instagram, and then I think the end of 2018, I took my first Instagram break for the first time in years. That in the years that I've been on Instagram, took a break. And it was good, and I liked it. And then I hopped back on, and then I hopped back off, and then I hopped back on. And then this time I was like, nah, like, we gotta stop hopping on and off. Like, I don't know if I see, but like, there is I don't know the right word. To me, I can tell the difference in my life from when I have Instagram in my life and when I don't. And when I have Instagram in my life, I feel like I'm just spending mad time scrolling on there, looking at this, looking at that. Like I told you guys, like with Instagram, there's so many traps. That's what I'm going to call them. There's so many traps on there, whether it's traps related to lust, to comparison, to making you feel inadequate or jealous. Like, oof. Instagram is loaded with that. And it's not even like it's intentional. Like, you know, if you're living your best life, go on and post that. Like, yes, be proud of that. But let's be real. Somebody might see you living your best life and catch feelings. That's how it happens sometimes. So, you know, that could happen. And I don't even consider myself like a super jealous person or like very insecure like that. And the way that I'm like looking at other people like coveting their life, because I know I have my own life to live and everything in God's timing. But I can't confidently 100% say that there wasn't little seeds of comparison being planted. And you know, the dangerous thing about seeds is that they grow. So there's that. And then there's the whole lust aspect. Like, you minding your business scrolling, and then next thing you know, you hit something, you go to the discovery page, whatever it's called, when it like gives you suggestions, and there's like a half naked person on there, and you was just minding your business, and next thing you know, you're like down a rabbit hole. I don't have time for that. So I don't know. I just feel much more focused and at peace without Instagram in my life. Because those hours that I'm spending scrolling through Instagram, which, let's be honest, that's what it adds up to, is hours. They now are being allocated to other more important things. So that only benefits me, of course. And like, if you're gonna be on Instagram, like, you better be getting paid or making connections or like something, y'all. Like, with all this social media, like, if you're not using it the right way, then what are you doing? That's what I want to know. But what else? So yeah, besides the Instagram break, the last thing that has been going on in my life is some digging. And I'm not talking about physically or literally digging. No, I'm talking about internally digging. So, life happens, as I've said, I think a couple of times so far. And, uh, how do I want to say this? Like, we go through things in life. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. And you don't always get to control what's going to happen, when it's going to happen. And then some things that we deal with in life is just like deep-seated. It's generational. It's things that have been put on you since childhood that you did not even realize was there. So I've had to do some digging recently because these past few months, even though I've been making moves and like doing my thing to the best of my abilities, I gotta be honest with you guys, I've also been working through a lot of anger and hurt. And those are not easy things to deal with. Those are heavy weights. I hate being angry. That just does not go well with my spirit and the way that I'm set up. That's a very hard thing for me to carry. Heavy thing for me to carry. And I think it should be that way for other people too. But I know some people are more callous than others. But anyways, like I was saying, anger is hard for me to deal with. And I've been in a very angry place these last few months. And so if you listen to the podcast, we talked about the power of pain and not ignoring these symptoms that your life and your body is showing you of things that are going wrong in your life or things that are off. So I'm seeing that I'm angry, I'm hurt, and so I got to dig through these things. But these are not things that I could necessarily dig through myself. And so I'm blessed to have people in my life that are ready to get down in the trenches with me. And I hope you guys could say the same. And that's kind of what inspired today's topic, good company. Okay, so when I was going to hop on live, I was like, okay, what do I want to call this? I have my topic, so what's the title going to be? First, it was about to be like, ain't nobody messing with my clique, because, I'm not even going to shout out Kanye after all that's been going on, but maybe the old Kanye. Shout out the old Kanye and good music and all that. That was a fire song. So first I was going to call it that, and I was like, nah, that's too long. Then I was going to do the Biz Markie, like Friends. Is it Biz Markie? I don't know, guys. Somebody correct me. But Friends, how many of us have, okay, I can't talk. Friends, how many of us have them? I was going to go that route, and I was like, nah, that's not the vibe I really want. And then as I was putting together my quotes and everything for this episode, one of the Bible verses I came across, well, I didn't come across, I knew there's some Bible verse that speak to the people that you surround yourself with, and one of those is 1 Corinthians 15:33. Do not be misled. Bad company corrupts good character. So you know what? I took that and I was like, shout out to God. We're going to call this episode Good Company, because that's what we want in our lives. Good company. Yeah, so that kind of leads me into my main topic. We're just talking about the people that you're surrounding yourself. I don't know, like, do you guys stop and thinking about these things? Like, who's in your circle? Who's got your back? Who can you go to? All of that. And I thought it was interesting, going back to the verse really quick that I just read. It says, do not be misled. That's the first part. Do not be misled. Ginger translation, don't play yourself. Like, I really feel like that's what God is saying. Don't play yourself. Bad company corrupts good character. And I also thought this episode was important, not only because it's a little tribute to the people who have been in my corner these past few months as I worked through life, but also because we already talked about the power of being alone, and you guys know how I feel about that. That was episode 7. I think it's called The Power of One. Yeah, episode 7. And I feel like a lot of your relationships and stuff should be developed from, like, okay, before you can have a relationship with other people, first comes a relationship with yourself. And so that's why it's important to think about how, like, who are you? What do you want for your life? Like, am I comfortable in my own skin? Am I comfortable by myself? And all those kind of questions. And so I think I kind of addressed that in episode 7. But now building on to that, once you're good with yourself, who's around you? I believe that as human beings, we're relational. Like, we're not meant to be alone. Like, people try to be all gangster. Like, oh, I don't need nobody. It's just me and da. No, stop. You're hurt. Like, no, we need people. But just because we need people and we need to have relationships with other human beings, that does not mean that that you just let anybody in your space. Because trust me, if you're gonna do that, you might as well be by yourself. Because I don't know which one's worse, being by yourself or being surrounded by bad people. And when I say bad people, I mean like people that's detrimental to you. I always love that word. I don't know if that's from middle school or what. Detrimental, whatever. It's so funny. I was thinking the other day how like some of these vocab words from like middle school and back in the day, vocab, English class, whatever, they still stuck with me to this day. But yeah, so be selective about who you're keeping around you. And with that being said, I'm going to go through the quotes that I have picked out for this episode. So the first one I found said, close the doors that cause you pain, anger, and suffering so you can open the ones that bring you love, acceptance, and inner peace. And it's kind of like I just said, like, I've been dealing with a lot of pain and a lot of anger. I don't know about suffering necessarily. That's a whole nother level. But I've been dealing with a lot of pain and anger, and I had to stop and get at the root of that, and so I could figure out what it is. And sometimes the source of your pain and anger and stress and frustration, let's be real, it's another person. And I know it's difficult sometimes to talk about relationships with other people because some people are like, oh, but that's family. And you know what? They might be. But just because somebody's your family doesn't mean you can't love them from a distance. I'm a firm believer in that. You know, I love you from over there. You good? Okay, good. Stay over there. So, yeah, like sometimes you are causing yourself undue stress just because of the people around your life. So have some people in your life. I mean, I know this quote is talking about doors, but we can pretty much replace this with people. Have people in your life that bring you love, acceptance, and inner peace. Like the people around you. Yo, I'm part of this prayer group, and I always talk about Shelly Shelton because she like means a lot to me. But when I joined her women's prayer group, one of the things that she had told me is that I would know that I'm loved. And even this morning, I was up at like 6:30 and I had good morning messages coming in, and you know how much that meant to me to know that people are thinking about me. People are like in my corner. People like, good morning, thinking about you. I love you. Like, yo, my girlfriends, we be telling each other I love you all the time, and that means the world to me. Like, more of that, please. Yeah. So acceptance, love. Ooh, acceptance. Let's talk about that, because another thing that I think is important is to have, get you some people that are non-judgmental. And I want to be careful with how I say this because I don't want you to get around people that's going to let you do whatever you want. Like that. There's a quote about that. It's like, real friends not going to see you slip in and let you think you're lit. That's not a real friend. But when I say like non-judgmental, is people who are going to like listen to your baggage, listen to your crap, listen to the ugly things, and not like crucify you for it. They might tell you like, yeah, you need to work on that. You need to make some adjustments, but they're not going to make you feel like less than because you're not perfect. Because who is perfect, you know? And so get around people who understand that. And I don't know, that last part, I mean, people who bring you peace. I don't know about you guys, but I've been around some people and it's like, there's a peace there. We don't gotta talk. We don't have to fill with silence because it's just a good vibe. More of those people, please. I don't want to say, like the quote said inner peace, but I think that automatically disqualifies it from talking about it in a relational sense, because inner peace really starts with yourself. So that's that. Another quote that I love that I've come across is, evaluate the people in your life, then promote, demote, or terminate. You're the CEO of your life. And I think more people need to have that mentality about their lives, because you're in charge. Like, if somebody else is running your life, if you feel out of control, like, that's a problem. Like, you need to have, and this, okay, I don't want to, like, everything I say, I really believe that there's so many things in life that are not so straightforward. Like, everything is, I feel like a lot of things in life are balanced. And so what I'm saying, basically what I want to say here is, because I could be a little bit of a control freak, like, you don't need to be a control freak about your life, but there's some healthy balance that, you need to take ownership of your life. That's what I'm trying to say. Take ownership of your life. Take the reins in your life. Don't be like out here like a tree in a hurricane, just all over the place. No, like get it together. Take some ownership for your life. And like this quote says, you're the CEO of your life, not nobody else. You're the CEO of your life. That being said, as a CEO, you got some power. You got some freedom. And, everybody has their own kind of power. So you're the CEO of your life. And there's 3 options here. You need to promote some people. You need to demote some people. Or you need to terminate some people. It just ain't a good fit. And it's kind of sad to say, but most of us, we know how it works in the corporate world. Like, the people making these decisions, they don't, like, lose sleep over it all the time. Well, maybe sometimes, but, they're not over here like, oh, I don't know, like, if we fire this person, if we promote this. No, like, they're executing. And that's what you need to do in your life. Some people, they need to be promoted in your life. Like, they've been around, they've been showing you consistency, they've been showing you their true colors, they got your back. Those people, they could be promoted. But some people, they need to be demoted. They ain't been coming through for you. The communication is inconsistent. They are, iffy. Like, I don't know. Some people, you got them up here on, like, I don't know, if you're not looking at me on Facebook Live, you got them on the top shelf of your life. But really, they need to be maybe like the 3rd or 4th. Like they still in there. Like, if you're looking at a library shelf. No, that's a bad example. But whatever. Like, that's kind of the visual I have. But, like, some people, you got them on the top shelf and they don't need to be there. Those people need to be demoted. And there's nothing wrong with getting some distance. Like, I think this one goes perfectly with, like, the family ties. It's like, yeah, you're still in my life, but there's some healthy distance in here. And that's for my sake. Because at the end of the day, I have to be good with myself. And so some people, they need to be demoted, all right? You got them as a manager, and they need to be a regular old salesperson or whatever. And nobody take that personal, because you know what? I worked in sales, do you, boo, and do it the best you can. And then there's the last option of being terminated. Like, some people in your life, they gotta go. And if you caught, because I didn't upload this one yet, I'm gonna upload it, don't worry. My first episode of 2019, I talked about the lessons that I learned in 2018 that I was bringing to 2019. And some of that was that I needed to cut some people out of my life. And I have been. And I'm a better person for it. I can honestly say that. Like, I was having a conversation with somebody last night, and she was talking about how she walked away from a job because the person didn't talk to her correctly. And she knew her worth, and she knew that she was going to be dealing with that. And I feel like when you're terminating people out of your life, there's a level of self-love that you need to have for yourself to know, I deserve better, or this ain't going nowhere, or what's the purpose of this? If it has no purpose, what is it doing in your life? Like these are questions you need to ask yourself. Like, why am I friends with this person? And don't get it twisted. Like, relationships are a two-way street. So everything isn't all about you and your needs. But let's be real. Like, this is something I talked about in college, in like a philosophy class or something. But all of our relationships are built off needs. And so that being said, like, analyze your relationships. What is it doing for you? Or maybe it's not doing a lot for you, but you're helping out somebody else in a healthy sense. I don't know. Like, if you're helping somebody who could never repay you, but it's filling your heart, keep that relationship, you know? If you're providing support for somebody, they're providing support for you, they're listening to you, they're there for you, keep that relationship. But if you can't ask yourself these questions about the purpose of somebody in your life, if you don't have an answer to why somebody's in your life besides some like, oh, that's my baby mama's cousin's father and, the family. Nah, fam. Cut that relationship. Cut it. So not everybody needs to be in your life. It is what it is. But yeah. So you're the CEO of your life. Act accordingly. And what else? Okay. This is going well. Better than I thought. The next quote I have for you is, this one is controversial, but I kind of agree with it. And I think it comes from Jim Rohn, motivational speaker, if you don't know. You're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And I don't know, like 5 people is not really a lot, but who are you like surrounding yourself with? Because like the relationships that you have is going to set the tone for things in your life. So who's in your circle? Like, who are you around? Like, if I had to take those 5 people and look at them, what am I saying? What is that saying? What are they saying about you? Not even like literally, because they might be talking about you. You might need to get rid of those people. But if I look at the 5 people you're surrounding yourself, what is that telling me about you? And let's keep it real. Like, let's talk about dating for a second. If you're a guy watching in, females, you should notice by now, we do our background checks. We're the FBI when it comes to dating, okay? We're looking into your Facebook profile. We're looking at your Instagram. We're looking at the pictures you was tagged in the comments. Who was like last on your page? Who's your family on these websites? Who's your most background check? Let me tell you. You checked in that location? Ooh, where's that at? Who's there? Background check. And that being said, like, if I'm talking to a guy or getting to know his family or whatever, like, I want to meet your friends, because your friends is going to tell me a lot about you. That's how I think. And I know people like to say, oh, that's not true, because just because my friend is doing that doesn't mean I'm out here doing that. And while that may be true, I got to go back to 1 Corinthians. Do not play yourself. Do not be misled. So, I don't know. Again, who are you surrounding yourself with? If you're the average of the 5 people around you, are those 5 people going places? Are they doing things? Are they where you want to be? Like, I was listening to Patrice Washington, the Money Mavens podcast, Redefining Wealth. I love her podcast. And she was interviewing Nehemiah Davis. Shout out to my Philly fam. And they were talking about relationships. And he described relationships as a sandwich, and how if you're in the middle, you need people on top, like the bread, you're filling, you're the good part. Or maybe the bread's the good part. I don't know. But you need people on top that's like pulling you up, pushing you to where you need to go. And you need people on the bottom who you're then pulling and pushing up, or pulling up and pushing, whatever. Anyways, you guys get what I'm saying, is that I think when Jim Rohn is talking about those 5 people, the average of the 5 people, he's talking about the people on top. And, not everybody needs to be on top. Some people could be at your level, but don't be with people that's at your level and good being at your level, or complacent there. They just chilling, doing nothing. Like, have some people that's going places, because if the people that you're around is going places, then let me tell you something, you're going to be going places too, because people that are going places are not going to hang around with stagnant people. Like, that's part of the reason I'm on here doing this podcast, is because I surround myself with movers and shakers. So when I'm not doing the podcast, they're hitting me up like, yo, like, what's good with the podcast? We still doing that? Like, get up 10, like, come on, And so that's the power of the people that you surround yourself with. And another quote that not other people, but that I've heard is your network determines your net worth. And you guys know I'm all about those money moves. No, but for real, like, if your network determines your net worth, like, story time. Okay, your network determines your net worth. I would consider myself somebody who has a dope network. And I feel like a big part of that is Breathe University. Shout out to my BU fam. Those people are game changers for real. Like, the type of people that are going to change the world if they're not already doing so. And last year, I took a trip out to Chicago to support my friend, Miss Valari Humphrey, with her. She had a conference for girls, and she was releasing her new book, which can't remember the title off of the top of my head, but it's in another episode that I talked about. Anyways, so we was out there in Chicago, Chi-Town. Just felt like saying that, I don't know why. We were out there supporting our family, because that's really what it is at the end of the day. And after the events and everything, we decided to like just go chill, go hang out. So we went to this bowling place, and this guy, Jamal King, if you don't know who that is, you better find out, because that man, let me tell you something. You think I got gems to drop? Whew. That's the type of person that when he's talking, you take notes. And I was in a bowling alley with this guy, and he's like a millionaire, like probably multimillionaire. And here I am, like I was still 21 at the time, and I'm hanging out with a millionaire and like a bunch of other dope people, entrepreneurs, like go-getters, hustlers, people with their own brands. Like me, 21-year-old, hanging out with these kind of people. What is that doing for my life? You know what that's doing? I'm gonna start my own brand too. You know what? So you're a millionaire and you started your journey at 22 years old and I'm about to be 22. Oh, say no more. You know what? If you could do it, I could do it too. That's the power of who you surround yourself with. And if I was supposed, like we talk about, well, I don't know if we, but as I learned about finances and all that kind of stuff, I gathered that like net worth is like how much stuff do you have that is of something of value. So like, and when we add it up, that's that number that determines your value, quote unquote. Don't even get me started on talking about how valuable you are, because we all know your value has no numbers that could be attached, because that's how big it is. Anyways, in the same sense, like if I was supposed to take your friends, your circle, and line them up and attach a value to them, this person's worth this much. Oh, that's your friend? Yeah, that's $1 million right there. That's your friend? That's a couple thousand right there. Yeah. Like if I was to take your friends, attach a value to them, and add them up, and then ascribe it to you, how much are you worth? Your network, what's the saying before I mess it up? Yeah, your network determines your net worth. And I'm not even talking about that in the sense of money or anything, but it's just like, again, the power of who you are surrounding yourself with. And so you might be listening to me talk and you're like, okay, so what do I do now? Like, what's the action? Like, for some of you, it just might be evaluating the relationships in your life, And like I said before with the CEO quote, promote, demote, terminate. That might be your action right there. For some of you, you're like, okay, cool. Like, I kind of keep to myself. I know my worth. I know I don't need to be surrounding myself with anybody crazy. Where do I go from here? And how do I get new friends in my life? Like, Ginger, how did you meet these people? Like, that you're talking about. And so I thought about that because I wanted you guys to have some takeaways and a couple ways to meet new people. I came up with 5. And I'm going to say the cheesiest one first because I came up with it last, but I was like, nah, that's not the finisher. So one of the ways that I like to meet new people and that have brought some awesome relationships into my life is at the gym. Like group fitness, y'all. I've made some amazing friendships at the gym and they've taken me places and shown me new things. So that's one place I met new people. A couple other places or things. Join an online community. Shout out Duana Harvey and the Single Woman Suite. That is an awesome community of women who, I don't think all of them are single, but most of them are single and dealing with life and all that comes with, I don't want to say singleness, but just making the most of your single season. And so I led the New York City chapter of that for a while. We're about to start back up again. We're having a book club next week. Go on Meetup if you're trying to come. But yes. So I met a lot of amazing women through the Single Woman Suite, like women that I will be happy to call friends for life. Like those are my sisters, and that came about through the internet. Like I cannot say enough, like the power of using social media as a tool and to your benefit and to your advantage. So yeah, an online community. Also, I always talk about Breathe University, online community. And it's so funny because in the beginning, I would talk about these people because they were so much a part of my life. And people would be like, oh, so how do you know them? And I'm like, oh, I don't. We met on Facebook. But as time has gone on, I've gotten to meet some of these people in person and will continue to meet these people in person. So I say don't knock an online community, especially if you have the ability to link up with some of these people. I mean, yeah, we all know about catfishing, but there's some people out here that's genuinely making moves, and I can't even, the number of relationships that online communities have brought into my life that have bettered my life, what? And I'm especially reminded of that at this time of year because it's been 1 year since our New York chapter of Breathe University has met up, and y'all, this past year of my life has been, I've been in places I never would have ever guessed that I would have been, like I said, bowling with a multimillionaire. What? Like, I would have never guessed. And just so many other things, like the places I've gotten to go, the people that's in my circle is, some of them are because of this online community that I have put myself in. So if you need some new people in your life, maybe join an online community. Those might be some people that's there to stay. You never know. Okay, what else? Speaking of online communities, so I'm in the Single Woman Suite, and we have our meetups. We've been trying to figure it out a little bit, but we're switching the format to using meetups.com. And so I had to sign up for an account. And I think that, what's the other one where you get your tickets for stuff that I can't think of? But yeah, meetups.com. And oh my gosh, I can't remember it. But it's this website where you get tickets on for events and stuff. And you can like search for other events in your area. I can't believe I can't think of it right now. Whatever. If you know what I'm talking about, you know. But yeah, it's really bothering me that I can't think of this. I'm going to have to think of it later. But anyways, websites like that where you can look for things in your area, especially if you live in a city or something, like use those to think about your interests, think about where you're trying to go, and then look up events that are moving you in the right direction. Like, it's crazy because I'm really trying to get into real estate this year. 2019 is my year to execute and like get in this real estate game. Eventbrite, thank you. Yes, Eventbrite and Meetups. Like, those are two websites that you can find new people through. But anyways, so yeah, 2019, it's important for me to get into real estate. And when I signed up for meetups.com for our Single Woman Suite book club that's coming up in a couple of days, I got an email that was like, oh, like, because, you know, everybody wants to send you email. I don't know what, whatever. They were like, oh, look at these real estate events in your area. And I was like, oh my goodness, like, that's something I meant to do. Like, I need to get around more real estate people. Also, if you're trying to get into the real estate game like me, Bigger Pockets has so many resources. But yeah, things like websites like that, like, take that step of faith, like, get over the shock of like, oh my gosh, I'm not going to know anybody. It's going to be awkward. And like, go to one of these events and you will be surprised the people that you would meet. So yeah. And what else? Okay, my last way to meet new people is to travel. Yes, travel. I am a big advocate for traveling. I think it has so many benefits, and I think it grows you as a person. But last year, like I've said a bunch of times, I traveled a lot, and I traveled a decent amount by myself. So some of the places that I went I love traveling for conferences. Like, that's one of my favorite things. Like, that's why I'm going back to Women Evolve and Pinky Promise this year. And Women Evolve was just a life-changing experience. Like, Pinky Promise, I went to with some friends, so I kind of kept within my circle. You know, I met new people, but not like I did at Women Evolve. Because Women Evolve, I went out to Denver, Colorado by myself. And y'all, the relationships that I built from that, like, because I was out of my comfort zone. Like, when you're by yourself, like, you know, like, you're forced to talk to other people. And I know that every person I came in contact, every relationship that was made that weekend was meant to be. And I still am connected with those people to this day. So travel by yourself sometimes. I mean, obviously, I'm not going to be out here, like, travel by yourself. Because it kind of, you know, traveling is fun when you're with your friends, when you're with your family, when you're with your loved ones. But once in a while, even if it's just 2 days, go somewhere by yourself. And you'll be surprised about the people that you meet. So that's all I got for you guys. I hope you got something good. I hope that you'll reevaluate the people that you got around you. Be a CEO. Make those adjustments, y'all, that I've been talking about. If you're just listening now and you don't know what I'm talking about, go back. You're the CEO of your life. Make adjustments. Get out there. Meet good people. There's so many places to do it. It's 2019, y'all. There's so many places to meet good people. And do not play yourself. Bad company corrupts good character. So that's all I got. And I will be back on soon. Don't worry. I'm not going to leave you guys for another month. And I felt like part of the reason I left you guys is because I was like going through my own life struggles. I wanted to like have it a little bit together when I came back on here and talked to you guys. But that's kind of like the opposite of what Get Up 10 is all about. Because I want you guys to know that I'm going through it, but I'm still showing up. And because I want you guys to do the same. And that's what it's all about. So with that being said, the quote that I wanted to finish up with, while it may not be directly related to relationships and company and friends, it is one of my favorite quotes. And I just wanted to leave you with this. Grow through what you go through. So that is all. Thank you for tuning in to episode 13 of Get Up 10 podcast. I'll see you guys soon.